Welcome learners to a session in which we will be dealing with one of the most important models of curriculum development. In the previous lectures, we have gone through grassroots level and also administrative model of curriculum design. And I hope this lecture, which is dealing with demonstration model of curriculum, it will be much helpful for you in improving the curriculum while you are constructing it. As far as we are concerned with regard to demonstration model of curriculum, I just want to make it clear in the beginning that demonstration model of curriculum is mainly dealt with the improvement of curriculum. That is, the experts are sitting together or the experts are making their decisions and opinions by forming certain committees in order to improve the curriculum. And it is also just like the grassroots level, it is a approach which is coming from the bottom. That is, it is a bottom up approach. Grassroots level was also bottom up approach. And what do you mean by bottom up approach? In the bottom up approach, we can say that it is the mainly the stakeholders of education, that is the teachers are working together or the community members are working together in order to improve the curriculum. So in the demonstration model also, it is a bottom top approach in which a group of teachers, they are working together with the help of the experts in order to improve the curriculum. See, for example, if the one of the curriculum or the curricula is being implemented and you found that there are certain problem you are facing in implementing the curriculum, sometimes it can be in the learning experiences, or it can be with respect to the method of teaching, or it can be with respect to the evaluation procedures. So wherever you find that there are some problems in the proper implementation of the curriculum, at that time we use the demonstration model of curriculum in order to improve that particular curriculum. And usually it is the teachers with the help of the experts, they work together to improve the curriculum. And that is the basic concept with respect to demonstration model. Also, we can say that it is a small scale model. Small scale model means it covers only a few schools. It can be one school or a few schools. And sometimes one curriculum component is taken into consideration, or otherwise all curriculum components are taken into consideration. Now, what does that mean? We can say that, say for example, if you want to improve your curriculum, you are implementing demonstration model of curriculum on an experimental basis in a particular school, you are implementing it, or you are selecting a cluster or a group of schools and then you are implementing the curriculum in the form of a pilot study, and we are checking the output, or we are checking the outcome of that particular curriculum. So in that way we can say that it is either implemented in a school or in a group of schools. Along with that, we can say that if you find that one component is having certain problem, it can be in the input, so we are focusing only on that particular component. Otherwise we are taking the whole component, the whole system, that is the input, the process and the output. So it depends on what you want, it depends on where you want improvement. Based on that, you are selecting the schools and also you are selecting the component. And next one, and also group of teachers who are working together with the experts. It can be from one school or it can be from several schools. For the curriculum development, you can select teachers of a particular school who will be working with the experts in order to improve the curriculum, or it can be teachers from different schools who are working together for the improvement of the curriculum. And also, teachers are given complete autonomy. That means teachers are given freedom or otherwise in a statement we can say that teachers are free to bring new ideas. Teachers can bring new ideas for what? To improve the curriculum. In order to improve the existing curriculum, teachers are given freedom. In a sense, they are given complete autonomy so that better improvement can be made in the curriculum development. And also new modifications, whatever new modifications that they have taken to improve the curriculum, that is explained to the students and also to the teachers and parents, because only a group of teachers are working together and they are bringing changes in the curriculum. So that message is conveyed to rest of the teachers along with the students and also the parents, so that proper partnership could be maintained, proper collaboration should be maintained. And next one is that the results. Since you are taking a group of school, you are implementing the demonstration model of curriculum, and then you are making changes in the curriculum. So whatever changes that you are making, there will be an output, there will be a result, and this result are disseminated to the surrounding schools. If you are selecting only a group of school, the result that you have made with regard to improvement in the curriculum, that is disseminated, or that is being shared with the other schools also, so that they could also improve their curriculum. So this is the general concept with respect to demonstration model of curriculum, and I hope it is clear to you. There are two forms of this model, which means that we can conduct demonstration model or we can implement demonstration model in two methods. What are the two methods? First one is that the experimental unit. It can be a school or a group of school, that is the experimental unit. And this experimental unit can be set within the school. Inside the school itself or in a particular school itself, you can make an experimental setup. That means you are selecting one classroom, or you are selecting 2 or 3 classroom, or you are selecting 8th standard only or primary section only. Like that, we can make an experimental setup within the school, and separate faculty can take out the work of trying. That means the teachers from other schools can conduct their work in the school. This is the one form of model. And second one is no separate setup is being created. We are not creating any particular setup or separated from the school, and also an experimental faculty is not being created. That means it is not like we are not making any separate faculty members or any separate cluster of schools. In general, we are applying it. All the teachers of the schools, without any particular group of the students or particular group of teachers, all the teachers and all the students are into this particular model, and we are conducting the experiment. That is what known as the two forms. One is really in a controlled condition, we are setting up the experimental group and also the teachers. Other one is like in general, that means in almost all the schools of that particular area, and all the teachers of that particular area are getting involved into this particular implementation of the demonstration model. So these are the two forms of this particular model. And now, so these were the important aspects of the demonstration model of curriculum. Now we will move on to an important example, which is with respect to demonstration model, one of the type of the models, and that is Taylor model. Taylor model of curriculum development is constructed by using the demonstration approach. So we can say that what is Taylor model? The Taylor model of curriculum is a widely used approach in education, and still now it is being used. And the peculiarity of Taylor model of curriculum is that it is giving importance to certain aspects, in which very particularly it is emphasizing certain aspects. That is, it has a very clearly defined objectives. and also it is in alignment with the learning standards. That means a proper learning experiences are being focused, and also a systematic approach to curriculum development. There is a logical and a linear order that has been followed with respect to the curriculum development as set by Taylor model. And also when I am explaining the steps of the Taylor model, this concept of systematic approach or this concept of the logical order, that will be more clear to you, which we will be discussing in the next slide. Before that, I would like to ponder on certain important aspects. That means Taylor model is mainly focused on 4 important questions which we could see in his book also. That is, what are these 4 questions? The first question is that what educational purposes should the school seek to attain? If there is a school, what is the purpose of giving education to the students? What is the purpose of imparting knowledge and instruction to the student? That purpose should be very clear as far as Taylor model is concerned. That is the first question. And the second question is concerned with the educational experiences. In order to achieve these purpose, goals or objective, what are the educational experiences that you are intended to give? That educational experiences should be crystal clear. What kind of experiences you are trying to provide to the students? It is hands-on experiences, it is activity oriented, is it subject oriented? So what are the experiences that you are trying to provide the students? That is with respect to the second question. And the third one is that how are you going to organize these educational experiences? What are the maxims that you are going to follow while you are arranging these experiences in order to satisfy the objectives? And the fourth question is dealing with how can we determine whether these purposes are being attained or not? How will you test? How will you check? Or how will you analyze that you have set the goals, you gave the learning experiences, and these goals are being achieved or not? How will you evaluate? These are the 4 major questions on which Taylor model is based. And also, while moving on to the steps of the Taylor model, the first step is, as I already told you, it is one of the features of Taylor model is that it is giving much focus on the objectives. So the first step is the objectives. That means determines the purpose, why you are educating the students. And the second step is dealing with the selection or identification of the learning experiences, and it should be related to the purpose. Whatever purpose you have set, based on that purpose you have to give learning experiences to the students. Apart from that, how you are going to organize the learning experiences? Organization is very important. And finally, how you are going to check whether the purpose is being satisfied. You have to evaluate whether you have reached the purpose. So these are the major steps, and we will go in detail to these steps. First one is identifying the objectives. And the first stage, when it involves the identifying the objectives or goals, and according to Taylor model, this objective should be specific. You should be very clear about the objectives. It should be measurable. You should not keep such an objective which is not having any utility or feasibility. Objective should be measurable. When you are keeping an objective, you should know how to measure those objectives, and also achievable. With the existing infrastructure, you should be able to achieve those objectives. If you are not able to achieve, then don't keep it as an objective. And it should be relevant to the current scenario and relevant to the future also. Also, it should be time bound. You should not keep such a sophisticated objective which cannot be completed within that particular academic year. If it is taking 2 years or 3 years, that is not your objective. It should be time bound. So that is the specifications with respect to objectives. And the second one is selecting the content. Of course, content selection is very much important, which will help the students to achieve the objectives. And there are also certain specifications with respect to Taylor model when you are selecting the content. And what are they? The content should be relevant. It should be relevant content. The student should feel that whatever content that I am learning today, it has something to do with my life, and it should be meaningful. That means it should be purposeful and also appropriate for the intended audience. While you are selecting the content, you should consider the age level of the students, the intelligence level of the students, the interest and attitude and aptitude of the students. These factors should be considered, because for them we are creating the content. So that is why it should be for the intended audience. Organizing learning experiences. Whenever you are organizing any learning experiences, it should have a logical sequence. Why there should have a logical sequence? If it is not logically arranged, it will not facilitate the learner. Only when the content is arranged in a logical sequence, it could facilitate learning. That is why a logical sequence, maxim should be followed. It can be from simple to complex, from far to near, known to unknown, certain maxims that we are following, and in that way it should be arranged. And next one is evaluating the outcomes. Of course, the final stage involves evaluating the effectiveness of the curriculum. Effectiveness of the curriculum can be evaluated with the output, with the outcomes, with the achievement of the student. If you understood that what the students have learned, if you can understand it in a better way, and if you find that yes, they have become skilled students, they have achieved knowledge, they are able to apply their knowledge in the real life situation, they could connect their knowledge with the real life experiences, of course it is successful. That is why we can say that evaluating the effectiveness of the teaching strategies, materials used, and making necessary revisions. As far as we are concerned, demonstration model, it is to improve the curriculum. So we have to analyze each and every aspects, that is teaching strategies and also the materials used are more important, because that is coming with the process. In the input you might have kept many things like projector, PowerPoint presentation through the projected aids, and many other, blended learning, flipped learning. So once you are putting it into practice, then there arise the challenges. So once we overcome the challenge, and if we are able to provide proper learning experiences to the students, and there lies the success. These are the 4 major steps with respect to Taylor model. What are the major merits of Taylor model? Of course, there will be merits and also challenges, but Taylor model is concerned with certain specific merits. First one is clarity and structure. There is no need for much discussion in this point, because we know that when there is a logical order, when there is a logical sequence, when it is giving more importance to the objective, and when we are evaluating based on the framed objectives, of course there is a clarity of the structure. Next one is focus on objectives. Objectives are more focused over here, because there is a very administrative objectives. That means we are able to administer those objectives, and by considering several factors in the demonstration model through Taylor approach, we are focusing more on the objectives. That means we are very critically aware about what students should learn and achieve. That concept is very much clear. Next one is flexibility. This model allows adaptability in the various contexts. If we find that once it is being implemented, it is somehow at some places, at some point, we are facing one or the other problem, then of course it is flexible. According to the need, according to the situation, we can make the changes. Next one is evaluation component. The inclusion of evaluation as a key component ensures the effectiveness of the curriculum, because the feedback is giving us more help, the feedback is giving us more knowledge with respect to improvement of the curriculum so that we can improve the curriculum with respect to the analyzed feedback. Once we analyze the feedback, continuously we can make improvement with regard to the curriculum. And along with the merits, there are certain challenges also we are facing with respect to Taylor model. The first one is that overemphasis on objectives. Emphasis on objectives should be there. Once we are overemphasizing on the objectives, it can be a challenge. But once we do the hard work, of course, challenge can be overcome. That's a fact. But still, it is a challenge because critics argue that the strong focus on objectives may lead to narrow view of education. Because creativity and critical thinking, sometimes it can be undervalued when we are focusing more on the objective. So that can be a challenge. Next one is limited scope, because how far the modern education can be addressed through this model, that is a challenge. Because since it is over-emphasizing on the objectives, whether it could cater the needs of the modern education system, that can be a challenge, because socio-cultural factors may influence the learning and many other factors are influencing, and it is changing day by day. Whether it could cater the needs of such things, that itself is a challenge. And next one is implementation of the difficulties. Even though the model is providing a clear framework, it can be challenging, because the translating objective into effective teaching strategies, since it is giving more focus on the objectives, we can say that in order to put into practice with that well framed objectives, sometimes it can be a challenging task for the teachers also, or those who are implementing the curriculum. These are the few challenges with respect to Taylor model. After going through the challenges and also the advantages of Taylor model, I would like to focus on a few examples of the Taylor model through which we can put into practice Taylor model. The first one is the subject-centric curriculum. You know that subject-centric curriculum means, see for example in science, I have taken here the example of a science curriculum. We start with the well-defined objectives, and also like it can be identifying the concepts, understanding the concept of the science, applying the theories and laws and principles of science, conducting experiments, and applying scientific concept into the real world situation or in the new world situation. So we are just keeping certain objectives, and this curriculum would then be designed around these objectives, incorporating relevant learning experiences and also assessments. So subject-centric curriculum is an example of the Taylor model. So Taylor model could be well implemented in such kind of subject which is more content related, just like science, which we have already discussed. So like in science, we can clear cut objectives could be set, so there will be no more diversions of the students, and they will be well focused with their experiments, concepts, theories, definitions, and they could also relate it with that of the real world situations. And the next one is project based learning. A school can use Taylor model in order to implement the project based learning, because see for example, if the students are working on certain community issues, you can use or implement this particular model because it is more objective oriented, as we have already discussed, because objective should include the problem solving skills, collaborating with peers, guiding the design of the projects. These can be the objectives when you are taking the topic or putting the students in such a situation or problem solving issues with respect to community. So if you are getting the students involved in the community, you can set clear objectives, that collaboration, understanding the relationships, understanding the social issues, taking their stand in the social issues, clarifying their mindset with respect to the social issues. Anything can be the objectives. So you can frame a well and clearly defined objectives. You can make the students into that situation by providing proper learning experiences, and they can and you can evaluate their performances. So these are the major examples or major implementation way of the Taylor model. One is the subject-centric curriculum and also the project-based curriculum. So today we have discussed about demonstration model. What is a demonstration model? The major concept with respect to demonstration model, and also the two forms of demonstration model, and also Taylor model with the steps. We have given a broad explanation with respect to the steps in the Taylor model, and also examples of Taylor model through which how you can put it into practice. In conclusion, I would like to say that Taylor model is considered as a quintessential prototype of curriculum. Of course, we can say that it is influencing the countless educators and also the curriculum designers, because it is having a proper format and also a proper structure. So it is much easy to implement. The only thing that we have to take care is that we have to be very clear about our objectives. Once it is very clear, it is very easy to put the inputs and also provide the learning experiences and gives the outcome. So I hope the concept is very clear to you, and I hope it will be also a topic of discussion for you. You will be critically thinking on this model and also how to implement this model in the current scenario by overcoming all the challenges. Main reference book that I have referred is of Taylor, that is the Basic Principles of Curriculum Instruction, and also I have gone through the National Education Policy 2020. So thank you so much for listening to me and have a nice day.